raggers. All right, here we go, man. Big Mike coming at you live and direct, Max City Limits Radio Show. All right, man. The beatings will continue. They will begin, and
until morale improves.
so I guess, man. Uh, oddly enough, no one's really said anything to me, Tony, about this latest topic we gonna speak on, man. Brothers, they pretty vocal, very opinionated about things of this nature, but they're oddly quiet on this, man. I guess they're voting with their feet or voting with their dollar, because I noticed in my Patreon, man, that cats done dipped on me, man. But that's neither here nor there. That's cool. It is what it is, man. When you a thorough dude and you got integrity, I guess that's what happens, man. Because Big Mike and Tony Macio don't pander. You know what I mean? So, all right. For those that don't know, we are gonna go ahead. I know y'all don't heard my opinion about the Carmelo Anthony case, and my thing is, like, I don't really know too much about how Tony's going to react to this. I do remember how we fleshed this out when it first came out, but I was curious to know if his opinion had changed. You know what I mean? And not to mention the fact that he is the individual that travels in the circles of lawyers and individuals that's downtown and law enforcement and whatnot. So I was very, very curious to see what he had to say about it, right? So, Tony, once again, man, welcome to the show, man. So glad that you found time to spend time with the peasants, my brother.
Come on, man, stop it. Stop it. Stop
it. Spend time with the lonely folk.
Stop it.
Oh, shoot, man. Yeah, well, go ahead, man. Let's go ahead and like before we went ahead and fired it on up, man, and started recording, you was talking about how me and you got down a year ago about this case, man. Now, what was you saying a year ago about this case?
I told you a year ago it was based upon, it was going to come down to the standard of subjective force. Mm-hmm. That's what it was going to come down to. I said that shit a year ago. That's why I didn't really care what happened, because as I told you before we went live on there, I don't follow shit that's predictable.
Right.
I knew he was going to get convicted. Mm-hmm. And let me clear up what I'm saying, because I know these niggas going, I mean, I get it, man. I get it. I mean, I do, man. And I want to try to be fair.
Right.
I want to try to be fair, but I knew that boy was going to get convicted. But I'll get to the specifics of what I'm really saying later on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do we know? We know, despite all these other inventions and stories, the facts at trial, that's what I'm dealing with. I ain't dealing with none of that shit you niggas been hearing from Tariq Nasheed. I ain't dealing with that shit that you niggas been hearing from Jason Black and all these people. I deal with what's on the motherfucking, I deal with what's on the record. I deal with what's on the record. I don't deal with that stuff that they talking about. I don't deal in propaganda. I deal with what's on the record. What happened when you went into court? What happened when you went in front of a jury of your peers? And that's another subject. I'll get to that later. But what happened on the record before the court? What happened before the court was this. There was no evidence into that there was more than one person present, and that was Metcalf.
Okay.
What we do know is that he was in a tent of the opposing team. Mm-hmm. That's what we do know. What we do know, according to the record, that it was raining. Mm-hmm. What we do know is that Metcalf asked him to leave. Mm-hmm. What we do know is Metcalf made contact with Mr. Anthony.
Right.
What we do know is that as a result of that contact, Mr. Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf or Mr. Metcalf or whatever you want to call him. Right there, that's the narrative. That's the narrative. Now let me run this back. I mean, I get it. My question is, and I know what they're going to say. Who was Metcalf to tell somebody to get out of anywhere? Was he a team leader? Was he the track coach? Did he have any authority to tell Mr. Carmelo Anthony to get out of the tent? He probably didn't.
Okay.
Was Metcalf being a jerk? Yeah, he was. Was Metcalf being a complete rectum? Yes, he was. Okay, he had no sway, and I know that comes from the dirty this tendency, this bigoted tendency of white people to always insert themselves in some type of authority over black people. I get that, and I understand how it would make a lot of black people feel, because I don't like it. Okay, right. And I have to deal with it, and I deal with it. So the question comes down to, okay, he shoved. Let's just say he shoved Mr. Anthony, and Mr. Anthony stabbed him.
Right.
The question is, did Mr. Anthony respond with the appropriate amount of force based upon the totality of the circumstances? I said no.
Okay.
The court says no. There are a lot of black people that are saying no. Should Mr. Anthony have been charged with murder? I don't think Mr. Anthony meant to kill him.
Right.
I really don't. I think he was afraid. Adrenaline kicks in. You know, when you're in that situation of confrontation, his adrenaline kicked in and he just let go. It was an accident. I don't think he meant to kill the kid. Did he respond with the appropriate amount of force? I don't think he did.
Okay.
I think it was disproportionate. I think it was excessive. Now, no testimony showed that there was anybody other than Metcalf, Austin Metcalf, that was present. So now we have to go to the issue of the sizes. That some people have said, well, Metcalf weighed 200 some odd pounds and Mr. Anthony weighed 100 some odd pounds. So if that was the case, does that justify it? And they point out the minuscule nature of the weapon that he was using. Okay, all right. And if you're going to make that argument, that would still justify to me a degree of a felonious assault. That would still justify to me manslaughter. That wouldn't justify murder. Okay. So the question is a stabbing the appropriate force? Is lethal force appropriate to respond to hand-to-hand contact? A battery, what amounts to a simple assault and battery. Do you kill somebody for an assault and battery? And the answer is no. 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 You don't.
Right.
Okay. I brought this issue up. I have an interview I just recently did with the great Judge Joe Brown.
Oh,
and he broke all of this down. It's on Clubhouse.
Oh, you did it with him?
Yes, I conducted the interview, and him and I are going to do some other things. We're coming with a brand new podcast segment. On Clubhouse called Bench Trial with Judge Joe Brown. We're going to analyze these cases. But in the Anthony case, Judge Joe Brown broke down the Anthony case and showed all the reasons why he was convicted. Force was disproportionate. Judge also said he was afraid of taking an ass whooping, but that's another subject. And of course, Judge Joe Brown is now being called a coon.
Oh, these Negroes, man.
Yeah. So now, and again, he broke down, the issue came down to the appropriate use of force.
Right.
You don't kill somebody for a push. I mean, it's that simple. Okay.
Yeah.
Was Austin Metcalf overstepping his bounds? No doubt he was. Was he probably on some I'm Caucasian and I say so, more popularly known is I'm white and I say so? Yeah, he probably was. Right. Yeah, he probably was. We don't have to lie about that. Okay. But the question becomes, is, does that rise to, is that reason to give rise to the level of force that would take his life? No. And again, I don't believe that Anthony meant to take his life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in that instance, we get a little bit into the other area that I wanted to come into. But is he guilty under the law? Yes, he is.
No doubt.
Okay. Now let's get to the other stuff around the pizza, right?
Okay.
Let's work our way out around the pizza. Let's work our way, to the periphery of this situation. All right. Let's get to the very beginning. The prosecutor off the gate didn't entertain manslaughter. Judge Joe Brown broke down his reason why he didn't believe it was manslaughter. I disagree with him. I understand why he said it, but I disagree with him. The prosecutors, what prosecutors generally do, here's what they do. They charge you with all the worst stuff they can.
Okay.
They load up an indictment. They load up a criminal complaint with every charge in the book, every heavy charge in the book, because the objective is to get you to plead to something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the goal is to get you to plead to something. It's an intimidation tactic. That's what they do. Okay. So now you could see that they had no intention of this boy pleading to anything less than murder. They wanted a murder conviction.
Okay.
I always tell people, Mac, there are three different areas, and this is what I'm going to try to explain to the people that are listening. There is the practice of law, there's the politics of law, and there's the business of law. Those are three separate areas,
okay,
that you always must concern yourself with when you deal with the American judicial system. The practice of law, the business of law, and the politics of law. So the question becomes, we'll get to the practice and the business a little bit later, but what I want to deal with is the politics of law, because law and politics are synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at this district. How many Black people live in the district where Metcalf was killed? I wager not very many.
Right.
Okay. So if you're going to pick a jury, if you're going to, before I get to the jury, so now if that is, if you're the minority in that district and the majority of your prosecutors, and some of them in there may be Black, I'm not saying that they're not, but that's still going to be controlled by a predominant group of people that are not Black. The majority of your appellate court justices are not going to be Black. The majority of your federal court justices are not going to be Black. The majority of your state judges are not going to be Black.
Okay.
That's just the reality, okay? So when you go in there, what I'm saying is when you go in there, you're going into a house where the dice are loaded. You're going into a casino where the dice are loaded right off rip.
No doubt.
Okay? So now you got a prosecutor that is interested in getting a conviction. Why is the prosecutor interested in getting a conviction? He's interested in getting that conviction because that is a stepping stone for him when he decides to run for congressman, when he decides to run for senator. So he literally makes his bones on those convictions. And who is it that he's convicting? He's convicting niggas.
Right.
Okay. Short and sweet to the point. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's in a position where he has to get a conviction because it's politics. Because if he doesn't get the conviction, he has to run for re-election. And the majority of people in that county are white. If he's seen as not being able to convict these quote-unquote Black hooligans, he's out of his job. He can forget his aspirations. He'll wind up working somewhere in the public defender's office.
Wow.
You see? So it's a must that he get that conviction. Now let's look at the judge. The judge cannot be seen as being soft on crime.
Okay.
He cannot afford to have that perception or misperception of him, because in many cases, I'm not sure about Texas, but in many cases, the judges are also elected. So in a majority white county, what must it forget all that stuff they tell you about impartial, because judges openly collude with prosecutors and police and talk to them off the record about the damn cases out of court all the time.
No doubt.
They entertain ex parte conversations with the police and the prosecutors all the time. Okay. So he can't afford to be seen as being soft on crime in a county where his people, white people, meaning white people, or white T people, that's the term. I gotta get hip to this new term so we don't get shadow banned, right?
No doubt.
White T people are the majority. He can't be seen as in any way being preferential to any issue outside or anything outside of what their norms are. And what are their norms? The norms are law and order. What does that look like? That looks like ninjas going into the criminal justice system. That's law and order today.
Okay.
So now we've established that the judge, despite all notions and despite all appearances to the contrary, must in some sense be biased. The prosecutor must in some sense be biased. And the police department work for the prosecutor. He's there, even though they're the executive branch of the government. Yes, I know about the three branches, but the police department and the prosecutor work hand in hand in the American judicial system. Inside of that courtroom, the prosecutor is the boss. So that means, by extension, the police also have to be biased. Okay? So you walking into that courtroom, you telling me you walking into a courtroom where the judge's self-interests are contrary to yours, the prosecutor's self-interest is contrary to yours, and the police's self-interest are contrary to yours. So now, what did you do? Let's look at what the ninjas did.
Oh, right? No. Okay.
Let's look at what the ninjas did. Right. When it came time for you to sit on a jury where you could have deadlocked the jury, you could have hung that SOB up. You could have went in there and said, no, it's not murder. I'm not convinced that it's murder. I'm not convinced that he wasn't afraid or in fear for his life or his safety. Because in a criminal trial, you need a unanimous verdict. One person could have deadlocked that trial and they could have started all over again. All you need is one. Okay. The prosecutor has to get all 12. All you need is one. And they say it was an all-white T jury. Okay, it's an all, even though it wasn't. But let's say it was. What happened to the black citizens that were called for jury duty? You mean to tell me none of them were called? No black person in that county was called for jury duty?
Well, you know what they said.
What?
Right?
Well, I'll get to that part.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm talking about before then. Because I know us.
Right. Oh, yeah.
When they call you for jury, what did you do? You tried every damn way to get out of it.
Right.
You're always talking about racism and white supremacy. This is the ball game. This is where you fight it. What did you do? You went and got blown. You went and got laid. You went and got high. You went and got drunk. You went and did something else. You had to go to work. Anything except for being in the pool of people that was selected for that damn jury.
Right.
And to be selected for the jury, you got to be registered to vote. So what are the number of black citizens in that county that are registered to vote that will have qualified to sit on that jury? And of the people that were black that could have sat on that jury, how many of them ninjas got out of sitting on that jury?
Right.
See, that's what's more important to me. I look at, as you say, we don't look at the branches. We look at the tree. We look at the roots.
Right.
Okay. So now let's go into the actual jury selection itself. There were 2 black people on the jury. 2 black people on the jury. And when you were asked questions, you're going to say that you can't be unbiased.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, all you had to do was lie. Lie.
Yeah.
Lie. Do you know how John Gotti got off so many times?
No.
You know why they call him a Teflon Don?
No.
A little process they call jury nullification. And jury nullification, it essentially means the jury's been tainted, it's been corrupted. Okay. What it means is there's no way based on that jury that you're going to get a unanimous or objective verdict. So what Gotti would do, he would always get the one juror. Somebody would get a little brown envelope. Somebody on that jury got a brown envelope. Somebody on that jury had some kind of weakness that John Gotti could exploit. They had a button that he could push.
Right.
And so every time him and Cutler went in to do battle in that courtroom, he got off.
Okay.
Jury nullification. What does that look like? A black man in D.C., a brilliant attorney by the name of Paul Butler, he proposed that black people engage in the process of jury nullification. And here's what he said. He said in instances where black people are charged with non-violent crimes, non-violent low-level drug offenses, refuse to send them to prison, refuse to convict them. This was 30 years ago that he pushed this theory, that he promoted that theory. Now, let's look at when white people use jury nullification. When their murderers were caught red-handed and they didn't convict them, such as the Emmett Till case. That verdict took 30 minutes. And you know why it took 30 minutes? They said they stopped to get a Coke.
Ooh. Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what they did. So you telling me out of this entire county, and it's your turn to sit on the jury, you couldn't keep your damn mouth shut and say, yes, I could be fair. And they said that explicitly. I'm not a mind reader, but I know ninjas. I know us. Right. They said it to get off the jury.
Exactly.
You said it for the express purposes of being excused from that jury. So if you want to blame somebody along with white supremacy, I'm pointing at you. Don't say they didn't say it, because they said it.
You cooning, Tony. Tony, why you cooning, Tony?
No, I don't give a damn what these niggas think. I never have and I never will.
Right, man.
I never have and I never will. You can't ratify stupidity by public opinion, homie. In the words of the great Tywin Lannister, the lion doesn't concern himself with the opinion of the sheep.
Hey, Dig, you went ahead and you laid that out perfectly, man, when you're talking about prosecutor, the judge, the jurors and all that. And you're basically showing and proving how the deck is stacked against your black ass, man. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting here, and I'm sitting here trying to impress upon brothers. Look, man, the main goal for you to survive in this world, point blank period, is just to stay out of the system. Just stay out of the court. Why? Because it's stacked against you, bruh. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting here, I'm trying to tell brothers, look, if you in a situation where something's gonna pop off, man, just walk away, man. Oh, you trying to make us into punks. You trying to you taking sides of the white man. I'm like, no, man, you just getting some bad information out here on YouTube, man. Your Tariq Nasheeds and your Willie D's, they try to get you locked up forever, man, by excusing you going ahead, reaching in your pocket and digging in somebody's chest with a blade over a nudge, man. That's what they doing to you, dog. You know what I mean? I'm like, y'all don't see that? Y'all don't see that? That's bad advice. You need to stop and just take a breather, man, and be like, no, the court system ain't for me. I don't belong in court. I need to go ahead. I need to take a chill pill, and I'm not listening to no Willie D. I'm not listening to no Tariq Nasheed.
I can't speak on Willie D.
Right.
But I know Tariq Nasheed is not to be trusted. I know, and he says some good stuff. He talks about that FBA, and he has a little trend going on with that. But Tariq Nasheed's advice when it comes to the system is not to be trusted. It's just not. Now, with that being said, let me offer a slight pushback.
Okay.
Stay out of the system. I agree with you. But here's the caveat. If you get caught up in it, learn how it functions.
Oh, of course, yes.
So you can defend yourself.
Exactly.
If those black jurors would have sat on that jury, and if they would have kept that mentality that they couldn't be biased and kept their damn mouth shut and lied and said, well, yeah, I could be biased. I could be fair. I could be fair to Mr. Anthony. Yes, I could be fair to Metcalf. The same way some of them black folks did in the OJ trial. If they could have set their asses on that jury and said, I could be partial, all the while knowing, okay, there's no way in hell I'm going to send this boy to prison. Right. He'd be out here tonight. Carmelo Anthony would be free tonight if those two jurors had kept their damn mouth shut and stayed on that jury. If they would have kept that mentality, and you can't say it didn't happen. Tariq Nasheed tried to lie and say it didn't happen when it did. They did say that shit. They did say that they couldn't be unbiased. They did say that. That's public record. So anytime a ninja is telling you to ignore the public record, that's suspect.
Okay.
That means he basically has, and I know what he's doing, because this all this pro-black stuff he's doing, that is a reset for him. That's reinvention for him to try to purge the taint of the streets off of him. But from time to time, that shit comes reeking through. Yeah. It is what it is. So
it's lucrative.
It's lucrative, exactly. So at this point, if you know you walking into a stacked casino, well, if you walking into a courtroom, or you sit down at a blackjack table or at a dice table, and you know the dice are loaded, you have to figure out a way to unload those die, or you just stay out. You just walk out of the casino.
Yeah.
You just walk out of the casino, or you have to figure out a way how to unfix a fixed game.
Right.
That's the conversation I want to have. And if those people would have sat on that jury again, that boy would be out here tonight. And we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So I'm sorry, but we is our own worst enemy.
Oh, shoot, man. The very concept of just, man, pointing the finger back at yourself, man, being accountable. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, we are a ratchet black broad, man.
Indeed. So when I say, and that's not taking white supremacy, that's taking into consideration that it exists. So the question is, nigga, what you gonna do about it? Nobody want to hear you. Yeah, nobody want to hear you whine and cry and sloganeer and pump your fist in the air. That means nothing. And you drop a few dollars and they hit. No. This is life or death. What are you going to do when it is life or death? And that's what it is for the Metcalf boy. His problem's over.
Yeah,
his problem's over. It's Mr. Anthony now, whose problems have just begun. So now that his life has been virtually destroyed, what did you do when it came time for him to go to trial? I ain't talking about the niggas outside protesting and talking about they gonna tear some shit up if he get convicted. He got convicted, and where are they tonight? They at home doing whatever it is ninjas do.
Enjoying life.
Talking ish on social media while that boy is in prison, and he's going to have to adjust to those conditions inside of that penitentiary. That's going to scar him for the rest of his life. how many people would have stepped up as alternate jurors?
Mm-hmm.
How many black people could have stepped up as alternate jurors? How many people could have stepped up as alternate jurors and deadlocked that whole jury? Ain't nobody talking about that.
Right. You're right.
Ain't
You're the first person I heard.
nobody talking about that.
Yeah.
Because if it's 11-1, that's an automatic deadlock and it's a new trial. Nobody said nothing about that.
Mm.
They went in there and told those white folks that, you know what they said? Kick me off this jury.
Yeah.
Please kick me off. That's what they did.
Mm.
And they don't want. The greatest accomplice to white supremacy is black complicity.
Yeah.
The greatest accomplice of white supremacy is black complicity in one form or another. I don't care what situation you're talking about. The nigga is always complicit in his own destruction. That's why I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear it anymore. What did they testify on that damn stand when that boy was being convicted? It was other black witnesses that sunk him on the stand in front of a all-white T jury.
Yeah. Mm.
You ain't gonna talk about that. You gonna call Judge Joe Brown a coon, but you ain't gonna call them the niggas coons that was on the stand and testified against him and helped put him in the penitentiary.
Well, they trying to act like there was no black witnesses against Karmelo. That's what they're trying to act like.
Hey, what black witnesses against Carmelo Anthony?
You say what now?
There were black witnesses.
Oh, yeah, I know that. But I'm just saying, if you get on social media and you listen to these so-called influencers, they just skip over that. They try and act like there was no black witnesses against Karmelo. They like, see, this what happened, family. All the white witnesses, they was in on it. All the white witnesses. I'm like, what? You don't know that there's black witnesses? You know what I mean? Yeah, they don't want to address that. They don't want to deal with that.
That I keep telling you, these pro-black niggas are savages and animals. And most of them niggas are informants and opt, and they will get you killed. They will get you stretched out, and you'll be feeding the worms. And they still around here trying to get you to come to their damn I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. What I say is this.
Okay.
You have to be careful when you're listening to people. I don't care who they are. Even if it's me.
Right.
You have to be careful who you listening to. Always get the facts, not my facts, his facts, the facts. Go and get the public record. Go get the transcript of the trial, but you ain't gonna do that. Nigga ain't gonna do that. That's too much work. That's too much. They ain't gonna take the time to go read the transcript and find out, what are the appealable issues in this trial. So let's get to let's go more in depth on the jury.
Okay.
They said that there were no black people on the jury, but there were some Asians, and I heard there were some Middle Eastern people. I need more information on that, but that's what I've heard. So let's take the argument that there were no black people on the jury. Then that means that's an automatic position to put the boy in put him on deck. That puts him on deck. That puts him not in the crosshairs. That puts him on deck. That puts him thoroughly in range for an appeal based on a Batson violation. A Batson violation says, in essence, if there is a pattern where jurors have been excluded on the basis of race, okay, that something like, and I'm paraphrasing it, I don't know the exact wording, but I'm going to paraphrase. If that is in fact the situation, then what you get is a second bite at the apple. You get the opportunity to retry the case because the boy's constitutional rights have been violated.
Even if the prosecution and the defense both agreed on the jury selection. Is that what you're saying?
Even if they agree, it could be even if they. Let me not say that's for definite, because when it comes to the law, brother, there are always exceptions. There are always exceptions. So possibly and possibly not.
Okay.
But you still got to raise the issue on appeal.
Okay.
Now here's another little peel I'm gonna put in the apple. You got to be careful that they don't make the boy do 70% of the time before they hit a damn appeal.
Okay.
So in other words, if you sentence him to 35 years, he done been in jail 22 of them before his case is even heard.
Wow. Yeah.
You got that going on, right?
Yep.
So let's look at the Batson violation. And if the attorney did agree with that, and this brings me to my third person. Here's another part of the game that most people don't know, but I'm going to say it here tonight. Do you know what horse trading is?
No.
Let me educate you to what horse trading is, brother.
I probably know it by a different name, but go ahead. You
know it by different. I'm gonna lay out the scenario, and I'm gonna give a story straight out of the Tony Macio bail bond anthology.
Okay.
There was a Jewish doctor here that was charged with touching underage children.
All right.
He got charged with, it had to be 12 or 14 counts of criminal sexual conduct with these children. He was Jewish. He lived in an affluent area out in Centerville. And so what happens is that he gets arrested, he gets locked up, and he gets a 10% bond. Okay? So his attorney charges the family, get ready for this, $350,000 for that case.
Okay.
CSC case. The attorneys that are battle-hardened attorneys and have a reputation for winning criminal trials is treated different than the public defender. You following me there?
Yeah.
So what these guys do to have a reputation, they have a degree of leeway in the prosecutor's office, and here's how they get it. They will take one of their clients who's been charged with a criminal case, who they've charged up the wazoo, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to defend. They'll go in there, and I know this happens because I saw it with my own eyes. They will go to the prosecutor and tell the prosecutor, look, I need this client to get off. I need this client to have a relative light sentence. And he wants him to have a relatively light sentence because that client has given him hundreds of thousands, if not over $1 million on that criminal case. This is a favor that he's calling into the prosecutor's office.
Yeah, I know what you're doing. Yep.
The client that paid him the most money, that's the one who he wants to get the best results for and the best outcome for. Because it increases his reputation, it increases the worth of his business, and it increases the bag. It builds the bag.
Yeah.
It fattens his bag. It fattens his reputation. It fattens his wallet. It fattens everything on it. So now, in exchange for the prosecutor giving him this light sentence, he got to give the prosecutor something.
Exactly. Yep.
He got to give the prosecutor something. Now, what does he give the prosecutor? I'll give you one guess. It starts with an N and it ends with an A.
Starts with an N and
Who
ends
do
with
you
an
think
A.
he offers up? Yeah.
Oh.
Or S.
Wait.
If you put with an S.
You talking about the Carmelo Anthony case?
It's plural if you put an S on.
I don't know, man. Shit.
No, I'm talking in general. I'm working my way back to here. When a defense attorney, niggas, brother, niggas, they offer up niggas on the drug offenses and the criminal offenses. That's what I'm telling you. Yes.
Okay.
Gives them the niggas.
Okay. All right.
So what he does is the Jewish client that he had got 4 years probation, got to leave the state and did not have to report as a sex offender, even though he was convicted.
Mm-hmm.
The nigga that came behind him on a shooting where the ballistics didn't match, there was all kind of tainted evidence. There was some issues with the chain of evidence. The police didn't even produce the bullet that supposedly shot somebody and killed somebody. There's no chain of evidence. There's all types of corruption or pollution or spoilage. That's the term. Spoilage of evidence where this nigga should have walked.
Right.
Under any normal circumstance, that case wouldn't have never made it to trial. Why? Because a motion to suppress would have destroyed that. A motion to quash or a motion to suppress would have totally destroyed that case. It never would have got to trial. The boy would be dismissed, and he would be on the streets getting some hood rat pregnant or shooting some other nigga.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Case is weak. That's my point. Case is weak.
Mm.
He went in there and he told the nigga to plead to felony possession of a firearm.
Yeah.
Or felony possession of a firearm, or felony firearm. Something that will put him in jail and get that prosecutor's conviction rate up. Remember I talked about?
Yeah.
You know how he must have those convictions?
Yeah.
Encouraging his client to plead guilty to a case that he could have gotten dismissed before it even made it to the trial court. He could have gotten this dismissed in the lower courts. Hell, even if it made it to the trial court, he could have brought a motion to suppress and got that case dismissed, and it never would have saw the light of day. But he didn't even offer a motion to suppress. He didn't even offer a motion to quash. He let that case go on until it was a week before trial, till it's 2 days before trial, or it's the day before trial, or it's the day of trial, or he get that boy to plead to a case that he should not be pleading to, that there's no way on God's green earth that he would have been able to withstand where the prosecutor would have been able to withstand a constitutional challenge to the spoilage of the evidence, the tainted nature of the evidence, and also the lack of ballistic evidence to prove that the boy even had the gun. To even prove that the bullet came out of the gun that they said killed the man with. All that's missing. But he done pled this nigga to a 2 or 3 year offense and put him in prison, while the white man that sexually assaulted the little girls is in another state and is not required to report as a sex offender.
Well, check this out. Let me know from what you see in this trial. Do you think that Karmelo's defender, do you think he horse traded?
I think it's possible. I can't say to an absolute certainty,
right,
but I know they do it. So let's look at his conduct. Let's look at conduct.
Right.
He didn't challenge. He didn't raise the Batson violation.
Right.
He didn't say anything.
Nope.
What kind of cross-examination did he give those witnesses that issued damaging testimony against Carmelo Anthony?
Hold on. Before we proceed, because the minute I heard this, I was thinking maybe this was some slick way that he was looking, that the defender was looking into the future and trying to get a mistrial by not offering the Batson challenge.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Ineffective assistance of counsel. That's an excellent reason for appeal. An IAC appeal. Ineffective assistance of counsel. That's possible.
Okay.
But you wouldn't go in there being ineffective. He can't allow that to get out, that he's an ineffective attorney.
Right.
Who will come to you if you're incompetent?
Right.
I'm not going to break bread with you if you're a stupid attorney. I'm not going to do it. Even though that's a popular appeal, that's a backdoor work. That's a backdoor way for people to get out of convictions and to get sentences overturned as an IEC. So that's very common. But what I'm saying is this. And I know he had to charge them 6 figures because it is alleged, I don't know if it was true, that they were on GoFundMe raising money.
Oh,
And
no
I'm
doubt.
told that this man got a 6-figure retainer. So I know he charged them a pretty penny.
Yeah.
I know he had to charge them a pretty penny. So now my question becomes is, okay, what did that family pay for?
I can't tell. I really can't.
That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So while you over here calling everybody over here who says, okay, well, maybe it's not murder, it's man, you're a coon if it's man. If you say anything other than guilty, you're a coon. Ain't nobody looking at the goddamn prosecutor. Ain't nobody looking at the judge. Ain't nobody looking at the defense. And if they are, it's in a very surface manner. Ain't nobody asking those questions. Ain't nobody asking those questions. Nobody's asking the very questions that would have put that boy on the street tonight. So I don't want to hear this shit about white supremacy. White tea supremacy. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I want to know what y'all did when this boy, if you say he was railroaded, what was going on when this boy was being railroaded? And why a nigga can't do nothing but sit back and complain after the fact? That's more interesting to me than all these other stories that they making up. And nobody's saying this as a way because out of fear of white people. Nobody's saying this out of fear. These are questions that any reasonable person would be asking.
Well, what it looks like to me, man, it just looks like just the dumbing down process of the average American, especially of the Negro, has been so crippling, man, that most of these Negroes they can't even formulate sentences, man. You know what I mean? They can't think their way out of a wet paper bag. Like we was looking at this case when it first popped off, and like I said in one of my previous shows, I can understand if a Negro was totally ignorant and illiterate when it comes to the concept of use of force. But with the passage of time, with this thing going on, you think a Negro would have, the common sense of, well, let me read up on use of force and self-defense and stand your ground and all of that, man. But it don't seem like they done did that, man. It seemed like they just get on TikTok and they just like, we's tides of the white man. And I'm like, do y'all read? Can y'all critically think? I'm like, look, man, the boy is guilty of this motion, of this action. Now, of the severity, that's going to be up to, the courts, but he admitted doing it, man. Like,
and that's another thing. Oh, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. This boy confessed to the crime.
Right.
Before he was Mirandized.
Oh, yeah.
This boy confessed to the crime before he was Mirandized.
Man.
I'm going to say that again.
Okay.
Stop and think about that for a second. He confessed to stabbing him. And here's what he did. Well, I'm not going to be dishonest. He said he stabbed him. He said, something to the effect of, don't I have a self-defense plea? What happens is, and niggas do this on the street. This is standard practice, right? When niggas have done some grimy stuff,
right,
they start pleading, what I call pleading in the negative. They start coming up with all kind of scenarios where they could have never been guilty. All kind of ways to get out of it, to say that, they shouldn't be convicted of it. For instance, I had a dude to call me one night. It was on a bond, and I don't do many bonds. I don't do bonds anymore. I refer him out, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, he said, the police raided my spot and they found drugs in a drawer, but they can't prove that I lived there. So how can they prove, that the drugs are mine?
Right.
I said, son, ownership is not an element of the crime. They're charging you with possession. How can I possess them if it's not my house?
Mm-hmm.
I said, the same way when you sitting around with a bunch of other cats and y'all smoking weed. You go to somebody else's house to get high. You go to somebody else's house to get drunk. That's not your house, but you possess the intoxicants, right? Well, but I didn't buy the weed. That's not the point. Whether or not you purchased the damn weed is irrelevant. Did you have that weed in your hand or not? Well, they never found the drugs on me. Good point. The law has something called constructive possession. Now, many jurisdictions are divided. In some places, they recognize constructive possession of drugs, some places that they don't recognize. Constructive possession means this. Is the drugs or is the contraband accessible? Can you get to it if you want to? Is it in close proximity to you? Now, close proximity is not the sole determining factor, but it is an important factor. It's not the sole one, but it's an important one. So in other words, if you're sitting on the bed and the police raid the spot and they find drugs 3 feet in front of you inside of the dresser drawer, as we call it, inside of the drawer where your clothes drawer, your sock drawer. They find the drugs in the sock drawer. They find the drugs in the sock drawer, and you sitting on the bed watching the flat screen, and the sock drawer is 3 feet away from you. All the drugs in that sock drawer. Did they find those drugs in that sock drawer? Yes, they did. You are now in constructive possession of those drugs because they're readily accessible and you can get to them because they're 3 feet away. Now, again, there are different standards in different places. I'm using that to prove a point. There are many different ways to find you guilty of something. And so what niggas would do, they'll start trying to find all the ways that they could have done it. And that's what tell me, I know right then they did it.
Right.
When you start copping pleas and start trying to find defenses, before you even charged, I tell them, look, I don't want to hear that. You got this bond money or what?
Right.
I don't want to hear all that. Because you coming up with all this nigger rigging to try to get out of some stuff you know you did. So it's a waste of my time to listen to that, and it's a waste of my time to sit here and even talk to you about that. Because you know you did that shit. I know you did it, and you know you did it. It's just time for you to get caught. That's all. So in Anthony's case, when they start trying to find all the ways he couldn't possibly be guilty. And then when you look at what actually happened, what they actually put on the record in court and allowed to stand, that's the very thing that proved that he did do it. Now, did he have the intent to kill that boy? I say he didn't. I say he didn't. But a jury of 12 says he did. And then he confessed. And then he starts talking about, don't he have a self-defense? He did. He confessed to the damn crime. What do you do when you give a confession? His damn confession is in the police report.
Hey, check it, man. Look, the more I think about it, man, you know what I mean? I get, man, I really feel bad for Karmelo, man, because it would appear that his parents are idiots, man. That's what it would appear to me, man, because with all of this going on with Karmelo and with the fact that he went ahead and confessed and everything. You would think that at least the father, man, would be like, all right, son, you might have to fall on your sword on this, and we may have to just plead out, man. You know what I mean? I don't think you really want to go to court and see this all the way through. You know what I mean? Because it looks like they got you dead to rights, man. What do you think they should have done? Should they have played out?
In this case, I'm gonna throw him a bone. He can't plead out, and here's why.
Okay.
It's viral, dog. It's viral. It's viral, and it's Texas. And the prosecutor ain't offering no plea on a case that has garnered worldwide attention. He has to have that conviction.
Wait.
He ain't offering him no. What I'm saying is, go ahead.
You saying that they didn't automatically offer him no plea?
They're not giving him any plea less than murder.
I don't know. Okay, all right.
They ain't giving him no plea. I could be wrong. If you come up with evidence, I'll retract this statement.
Right.
But what I'm saying is this: in that kind of situation, dog, you go for the gusto. It's running with no brakes. This case is now garnered worldwide attention. It is viral. All of Texas and the world is waiting to see what happens. He can't be seen as giving this boy a plea that's going to give him a reduced sentence. They'd lynch him in Texas, figuratively and literally.
Right.
You can't do the politics of law, dog. You can't do that. His career is finished.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not aware if he's giving him a plea. I don't know if they asked him to take a plea. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
But what I do know is that prosecutor did not did not try to convict that boy of manslaughter. And manslaughter is what's called a lesser included offense.
Right.
And a lesser included offense gives you the latitude to convict him of something other than the most serious offense of what went down. They didn't offer him a cognate offense. They didn't offer him a lesser included offense. They wanted him convicted of murder.
Man.
It's based on how it looks.
Okay.
They have to live in that community. They have to live they have to work in that community. They're going to be subject to the scrutiny of the Texas State Bar. They're going to be subject to the scrutiny of the county bar that all of those people in the system are a member of. That affects the cases that they get. That affects the perception of their competence when they're running for election and re-election. You got to think about all this. Because all this comes into the courtroom every time they're accusing you of anything. All these considerations are on the line. And then you have to calculate and factor in all the other stuff, the horse trading. You know, how does this case look to the public? How does the public look at this case? How are they going to see it? How am I going to be looked at in my community when this case is over? All these things matter. Because white collar retribution is a mother. You get a bar complaint against you, or the judge gets a JTC, a judicial tenure committee complaint against him, can get him removed from the bench. All that stuff is a factor of white collar retribution. And I'll give you, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I'll give you another scenario, a more ratchet scenario. Does the name Crystal Mangum mean anything to you?
The name sounds familiar.
Crystal Mangum is that ratchet skillet down in North Carolina that accused them white boys, them polo players, of raping.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
The man that took that case tried to play politics and kiss up to the liberal black female and thus black community and church vote in, I think it was either Raleigh or Durham, one of them, kiss up to the black wing or the black influences of the Democratic Party. They was going to take this rape case by this stripper
Mm-hmm.
against these 6 white boys. He was playing politics.
Right.
He had exculpatory evidence to show that them white boys did not rape